Hello, everybody, and welcome to Coffee with Casey, where we're back from Italy, back in the good old US of A. And I got to tell you, you want to appreciate the United States of America? Go to Italy for a while. Walk around for 4 miles a day in that heat with no grass. You'll love the big cars of the United States, our restaurants. I'm so glad to be home. I was like George Bailey in Bedford Falls, running down the middle of Main Street on Maple Avenue going, "Hello, Vienna Inn, I love you." And I'm hugging all the restaurant guys. It's good to be back in the U.S. and really get back entrenched with cleaning up on what happened in 2025. So what we want to talk about today, what happened in 2025, what's going to happen for the rest of 2025, some of the key mistakes that people are making, and some pretty incredible things that happen. So let's start. We start off the year with an inauguration. We have a president. Whether you like him or hate him, it doesn't matter. 50% of the people are going to be happy, or in this case, 60% of the people are going to be happy, and the rest are not. But at least it's settled. The uncertainty of who's going to be, running the country is unnerving to a lot of people, to the entire population. So at least half of them get settled down. And usually we find after somebody takes office, everything smooths out and we get rolling. And we did. Our inventory, which is what we track, the inventory of homes that were coming on the market in Fairfax County and Vienna and all the markets that we track, were up 50%, 60%. So that inventory was here in 2019. It went down here in 2023, back up a little bit in 2024, and way up in 2025. So the inventory was rolling. And as of March, we were on a roll. It looked like things were really going to be big this year. Then disruptions happen, right? So Trump is, if nothing else, is a disruptor. And what he does is he sees something that's broken and he'll just tear it apart, rip it up, and say things like, we're going to raise tariffs 150%, and people will freak out. What he's doing is he's just disrupting the system. Is he actually going to do it? No, he's bluffing. But it shakes everybody up. So what happened in the real estate market? When the tariffs hit and the trade war hit and the stock market plunged, everybody in real estate went like this. All that growth that we were starting to see, all the uncertainty came back. Now, market was still rolling fine. We were still going along, but we didn't have that push like we really felt we were going to get and hoping to get in 2025. So rates started to rise in anticipation that the tariffs would raise inflation, but it didn't. So inventory kind of seized up, and the buyers were a little more cautious. Now, here's what happened. All of our listings that we have do not have home inspections, and they don't have contingencies. And we did $127 million in the first half of the year. And what we make sure is when we list a house that we don't have any contingencies, because what happened was when the market tanked and the interest rates went up a little bit and the stock market went down, people got shaky and contracts started to kick out. Buyers were thinking of ways to get out of the contract or the commitment they had made to buy a house. So if there was a home inspection, they'd just kick it out. If they had a financing contingency, they'd find a way to not make the financing contingency. So there was a lot of pullouts. Luckily, we didn't have any of that, because if somebody wanted to pull out, it's like, you don't have any contingencies. You're going to lose $100,000 and get sued. So let's just go to settlement. Let's just be friends. So that's the way it happened. But a lot of realtors in that first half, if you did not have solid contracts, so let me give you an example. Right now in today's market, if you look at homes that are under contract, if we have 10 homes under contract, 3 are pending, which means there's no contingencies left. 7 are contingent or active/contingent, which means they have a home inspection, a financing contingency, or they have a home sale contingency. So 7 out of 10 of the homes that are under contract are at risk of kicking out. So when we list a house, we don't want any contingencies. When we sell that, we want it locked in. We want a big deposit. We want it locked in just in case something like the disruption happened in the spring of this year. Now, it looks like some things are coming to a conclusion. there's a lot of trade deals getting set, right? That's going to be good for us. There may be a ceasefire in the Middle East. There may be, so things are starting to get resolved. The budget may get passed through. So there's a lot of things starting to get resolved. And so, as we start the second half of the year, maybe the market will be a little calmer than it was in the spring. But still, spring is where we make our money. So let's take a look at this. This is, and I would say that the key to our success, I want to talk about some of this, is knowing the market conditions and where we are, right? So what you're looking at right now, and for those of you listening to the podcast, I've got 3 charts up. The first chart is trending 30-day inventory. I need to know what's happening today. Like in the last 30 days, has inventory in Fairfax County, has it been up or has it been down based on the same time period over the last 8 years? So it's up. So Fairfax County is up 25% for the last 30 days. Loudoun's up 21. Arlington's up 24. So it looks good. Now, Prince William County is lagging behind us. They've only got a 9% increase in inventory. So when we think about this, Doge is going to tell everybody that you're either fired or you have to come back to the office. You would think everybody moved out to Prince William County. Now they got to go back to work. So they're going to leave Haymarket. They're going to come back and move closer. That's not happening. So you don't see a lot of inventory going on the market out there in Prince William County. So year-to-date inventory, Arlington is up 38%. Fairfax up 21%. Loudoun's up 28%. And there's Prince William lagging behind 11. Now, here's the amazing thing. The last chart I look at is how is this affecting the sales? So in Arlington sales are up 24%. Fairfax up 15%. So let's look at this. The inventory is up 21%. Sales are up 15%. You'd think it would have been a little stronger. Look at Prince William. Although their inventory is down 9%, they're up 19% on their sales for the year. So all of this is showing stable markets. They're not overrun with inventory. Sales are not plummeting. They're not, this is a stable market. This is a great market to work in. So what this tells me is, are there any problems with this car? And the answer is no. The car's running just fine, okay? Now I break it down. And this is how I do it. On our CaseySamson.com website, people can go to Fairfax County and see those are the 30-day actual numbers of homes that went on the market over the same 30-day period. You can see in 2021, there was 1,378 homes went on the market. And in 2023, only 620. See what happened in 2023? That's what we call an anomaly. So the reason I do these charts is I'm looking for anomalies like that. Are we healthy or are we not healthy? Do we have a ton of, if our inventory spikes like it did in 2021, what's that going to do to prices? What's that going to do to how I price a house when we put it on the market? So all of these are critical numbers, and I can see that, Fairfax County in the middle chart, the year-to-date inventory, that shouldn't say sales, year-to-date inventory. In 2021, there's 5,500 houses came on the market. In 2023, 3,200 came on the market. That changes the way we do business. That changes the way we price houses. So understanding inventory and understanding sales on a macro level is extremely important. Then we get down to certain markets. These are 5 markets that I track: Vienna, Haymarket, Aldi, whatnot, and I can track each one of them. And I do this pretty much every other week because I need to know, is it going up or is it going down? If inventory goes up, prices go down. If interest rates go down, what happens? What can we expect if interest rates go down? If interest rates go down, inventory will go up. If inventory goes up, prices will come down. That is the cause and effect of what's about to happen. So as we see interest rates coming down, I'm expecting more inventory coming on the market. That's a look ahead. But these are the key markets. I basically specialize with Vienna. Not specialize, but we do a ton of business in Vienna, as you'll see in a minute. And here I'm tracking how many homes in that price range came on the market, and I can see it's ticking up a little bit from, it's not killing it. It's up 21%. It's not killing it, but it's better. and year to date is up 24%, which is solid. So I'm looking at the inventory is rising, but not killing it, not killing it. All right, so let's look at this. What I'm about to tell you of how we need to react over the next, and some of the problems that I see, I've got to authenticate that what I'm about to say has some teeth to it, right? So I'm just saying this just to say it. In the first half of 2025, our team, which is only 7 or 8 people, did $57 million over $1.5 million. So of homes that listed and sold over 1.5 million, we did 57 million. And to put that in perspective, all of Falls Church only had 68 million. So all of Aldi, all homes that sold in Aldi over 1.5 million, they only had 43. We had 57. So when you specialize in a certain group, you have to authenticate the fact that we've done more houses than all homes in Prince William County. Prince William County sold $26 million worth of homes over 1.5 million, and our 7, 8 agents did 57 million. So we do that because what were we just talking about? Some sellers, right? We go into a seller and the seller will say, well, some want, some don't want. You must authenticate that you are an authority in what you do and the track record to back it up, because they need to depend on your advice. If they can't depend on your advice and they do it their way, it's going to be a problem. I'm just telling you. If a seller doesn't have faith that what we say is true and follow our protocols, then you're going to fail, especially in a market like we're going into right now. Because this is not going to be pretty. This is going to be a tough market that we're walking into. But just to authenticate, that's our numbers. Now in Vienna, get your arms around this. So Vienna is kind of our specialty, and that's where I grew up. I coach football there. So our team did $32 million. Now that's 5 agents. Did $32 million in over 1.5 million in listings. All of Keller Williams agents, there's 997 Keller Williams agents that feed into Vienna, and they did $29 million. I'm going to show you why this is in a second, and why I think that why is this? How do 5 agents beat 997 agents? Sotheby's, Compass has 455 agents that feed into their offices that feed into the Vienna market. So they did $15 million. We did twice as much as the 455 Compass agents that are hired. I mean, those guys, they don't go to Compass just because it's like, I want to go to Compass. They are hired guns that Compass will go out and pay money to come work for them. And we did twice as much as they did. So why is that? I mean, how do 5 people do that much more than 450 hired guns, twice as much? And I'll tell you why. Compass's business model is they want you, as a seller of a $2 million home, to have what's called an exclusive listing. They're going to take it to their agents, and they're going to show it to their agents, which is about 15% of the market share. They're going to just try and sell it between their agents. Now, they'll sell you on the exclusivity of it. But the problem is you're going to introduce your home to 15% of the buyer pool, right? Not 100, not 120%. I'll tell you how we get to 120%. Just 15%. That's their model. So when they walk in and they want to do a listing and there's a competition, and most of our listings are all competitive, and we talk about exclusivity, the Compass agent's walking right behind me talking about exclusivity and doing an exclusive listing, and that's why 455 agents do half the business that 5 agents do, right? So it's partly the model. Now, Keller Williams, their model is all about building teams, retaining people, getting listings, getting leads, doing all the things. None of the education is about how to sell a house. Let me say that again. None of the education that they're basing it on is about how to sell a house. It's how to build a team. So my question is this: are we team builders or are we realtors? We focus on selling houses. That's what we focus on. There's the agents. Long and Foster, been here forever, 392 agents, and they did $15 million. So we did basically as much as Compass and Long and Foster. Now, the reason I'm sending these numbers out and why I'm telling you this is because, in my opinion, I think that everybody needs to be specialized in what they do. So why is it that ours will sell or will get that much business? Because I do 4 things, right? I don't read the sports page. I read the market on MLS. I study the market in MLS. I know whether it's going up or down. I know everything about the market. When I sit down with a seller to list their house, I know everything you need to know about the market, how it's going to affect you, where it's going, where your price is, where it's going to end up, how we need to get it, where the buyer pool is. So I study the market. I study pricing. I was really taken aback when somebody sent me something on Facebook and asked me to comment on it, and I didn't. They said, Sam Fam, what are the pricing engines you guys like to use? And they were top producers. Well, I do this, and I do this, and I do that, and I do this. I do cloud, MCMA, dude, I would never let a computer price a house for me. I would never trust a computer program to price a house for me. I need to know. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. And let me show you why. And I'll go back to this. Here's the pricing engines. This is RPR. That's Realtor Property Resource. This is one somebody referenced. Oh, yeah, I think Realtor Property Resource is the best. This was a home that I went to list. Realtor Property Resource said the home was worth $2.287. Realtor.com said it's worth $1.92. Zillow said it's worth $2,025,000. HomeSnap, or Homes.com, I need to change that, is $2.13. And Redfin said it's worth $1.8. So what is it? I think RPR is the place you got to go to get your pricing. Oh, I think Zillow is much better. Oh, do Realtor.com. You can go to Realtor.com. You can get a 26-page report on why it's worth $1.920. Now, how can one 26-page report say it's worth 1.8 and another one say it's worth 2.287? I'll be honest with you. I wanted to throw up. Didn't comment. Stay out of it. Most of them don't listen to my show anyways. But if you're going to tell me that if you're going to trust me with your house and I'm going to pull one of those, I need to know the price. So that's why 20% of my time, 15 years of my life on how to price, how to make sure that I can explain price. I'm going to go over it with you here in a second. And that's all I do. I do pricing, I do market analysis, and I manage a portfolio. In other words, I go to listing appointments, I adjust prices, I do predictive analysis. I make sure the pricing is correct on all the houses that are going to get launched. And then they'll sell, and then everybody will be happy, and we get business. Anybody that's trying to do, now, everybody has to have this chart, and I can tell you that for most agents that Keller Williams is managing their team. I'll bet that black area is managing the teams. Not selling houses, managing the team. The pricing for most agents is this big because all they do is go into Cloud CMA, put in an address, get it, print the report, and bring it to the seller. That's why homes don't sell. They're overpriced, especially when we're going into a tough market. So now, where's the marketing? Well, Julie does the marketing. Well, where's all your operations? Yeah, Michelle does the operations. Well, who handles all the contracts and the sellers and That's my partner, agent. This is what I personally focus on. That is what I personally focus on. And every realtor, if you have more than 4 things that you do for a living, you got a problem. If you're trying to learn AI and how does this, if you're trying to do all this other stuff, I'm just telling you, it's a problem. You need to focus and you need to have a team group. I've got a new agent in here. You just started in real estate, right? The mountain of information in real estate is massive. How do you market? How do you price? How do you get a listing? How do you do this? How do you do that? Unless you have a professional doing every spot of it, you're going to lose. Because if you go in for a listing, you got to run into teams like us, or good teams, or Long and Foster, or Compass, or Keller Williams. Nobody's just going to trust somebody with $1 million house. I mean, it is extremely hard. Real estate is hard. It's not easy. So you have teams and you have a professional that does the marketing. I mean, how Julie finds people in McLean to buy a Vienna house, I don't know. She does it. She can find what this house is in Vienna that's worth $2 million and market it to people that are looking at $2.5 million in McLean. It's the same house. They look at the one in Vienna and go, $2 million in Vienna? They come to Vienna, they buy the house, they give us $2.2 million, think they got a deal, and our seller got $200,000 over list price. We do that all the time. Professional. Michelle, operations professional. Morgan, Colby, the agents that work with me, totally professionals. Just unbelievable. And they put a team together. Now, for a newer agent or an agent that's trying to get going, they hook on to some other agents and just work with them because they're doing so much business. They have what's called spillover business, and they need help with showing houses and things like that. But you have to learn, you have to work as an apprentice in real estate before you can just jump into the pond with all of this massive amount of information. So you hook on to somebody that knows what they're doing, and then away you go. But I received something, and I just, when I try and figure out how is it that 5 people can outdo 997, it's that they're focused on team building and not selling houses. That's all I can say. That's the only reason I could say. And Compass, why are 5 doing 32 and 900 or 455 professional agents doing 15 million? Because they're focused on exclusive listings, which is wrong. It's a bad model. It's just a bad model. And should we go up against somebody like that, we're going to take it from them every single time. Why? Because we focus on pricing. And anybody in real estate, any seller that's selling a house, if that agent can't tell you how they arrived at that price and where the buyer pool is and how they intend on finding that buyer pool and selling that house, and they can't give you the market data you need, then you got the wrong agent. You got the wrong agent. So what is the R&R? Rest and recreation. I think we call that in the Marines. You need R&R, right? You need to get out. Yeah. So, yeah, that's either a nap or golf, one or the other. If you don't rest, if you don't turn the engine off and go take a nap, or sleep it off, or go play golf, or get out, or go to Italy, or whatever you got to do, then you will burn the hell out doing all of those other things. So you need to have R&R. Every realtor's got to have a segment of their time. Sellers got to respect that when it's out, you're out, right? You turned off the engine and you just got to shut it down for a while. And that way you can come back and you can do that. But I think that, and I task every agent on my team that I want to know the 4 things you're doing, not 12 or 15. I just want to know the 4 things you're doing that you are a lockdown expert on. I'm a Marine, and Marines are just experts at whatever they do. If it's fixing a truck, you're an expert at fixing trucks. You must be an expert at every single thing that you do. And so So, you know, how did that happen? That's how it happened, right? So the end result of all this is a look at a pricing model. Now, you could do it any way you want. You could do it any way you want, but I'm going to explain this to you because this is the key of doing 127 million in whatever it was, 6 months with 8 agents, okay? And this is the 100% key to what's going on. So we go into the house. This is the same house. It was somewhere between 2.28 and $1.8 million. Okay. So this is what a pricing model a seller looks at. Up on the top, you'll see a customary value. It's 2174. How did we arrive at the customary value of 2174? That is what an average house that was, whatever the size of this house, it looks like 4,200 square foot home built in 2013 with a 15,000 square foot lot that has an assessment of 1.642. That's what it comes out to. Because if you take the qualifying comparables and you say, what's their price per square foot? Adjust for size and age. And then what's the percentage of assessment? That'll give you your numbers. And if you take those two numbers and combine them, you're going to find out that the average price, the customary price for this house is in fact 2.174. Now, if the house is dated and the other part where it says value, and for those of you on the podcast, we're looking at a pricing model. And on the bottom, it says the word dated. So if a home is in poor condition or it's got old, it's got yellow walls, and it doesn't have updated stuff, you'll see the home is worth $2 million. If it's customary, which means everything's kind of up to date, it looks kind of like everybody else, then it's 2.174. But if it's updated, if it's got a pool, if it's really cool, if it's got everything, it's got the right paint, they've really done a nice new kitchen, new bathrooms, could go for 2.37, 2.35 million. So the key is knowing these numbers, right? So as we look at this, the rest of what you're looking at is all just analytics on how did I get to that number. But you've got to just say, look, these are my qualifying comparables. And let me tell you the objection I have with the Compass. Compass has put your number in and it gives you. I looked at them. They have everything from a 2,000 square foot house to a 5,000 square foot house. They've got everything from a half a mile to 2.5 miles. They've got outrageous comparables. They were using homes in the model I saw that were still active. You can't use an active home when we're doing that. So part of it is not just guessing, but knowing exactly where you have to be. Now, if I think that the house is worth 2.175, where's the buyer pool for that? Well, buyers are at 2 million, 2.15, 2.25, and 2.5. That's where the buyer pools are. In the MLS, that's where the buyer pools are. So we wouldn't go at 2.175, we go 2.15. Why? Because if you go $1 over the people that set their thing and show me everything under 2.15, you miss them. You miss the whole buyer pool. This is what angers me. I give the speeches and all, and I look at some of the listings that come on, and they'll come on at 752,000. Well, why would you do 752,000? Everybody looking for a home under $750,000 just missed your listing. Why would you do that? Why would any professional do that? Oh, that's what Realtor.com said it was worth, so that's what you put it on for? So A, probably not the price. B, you missed most of your buyer pool. So this is the first part of it. So now we're kind of closing in on where we think this should be, right? And again, I can look at every one of these houses and tell you and compare them. So now this is the second most important part, and I will tell you that now is more important than ever over this document here. So this is the market snapshot. And what this is, and I'm going to leave camera and go up here and get a little closer to it. So on this, I've got one home that's pending, and I have 5 homes that are active. So our competitors, are there any? It's like, oh my gosh, we've got 4 active listings over there. We got a lot of competition out there, right? Not really. So I've got 5 listings. They've been on the market an average of 23 days. I say those homes are worth $1.82 million, and they're listed at $2,050,000. See that? See that number right here in active? So the homes are actually on the market $228,000 over market value, or my estimate of market value. So when I go to the seller, am I afraid that there's active homes on the market? Hell no. Why? They're overpriced. The one that went under contract was priced $60,000 less than I thought it should be worth. So you see, this is a sign to me that it's not an inventory problem, it's an overpricing problem. So people are overpricing their homes. It's not an inventory. So when I'm advising the seller, they're looking at me and we're analyzing the market, in real time, saying, look, I'm telling you, those houses are really only worth $1.8 million. They're not worth $2,050,000. So I don't see us having an inventory problem right now at all. But the person under contract is $60,000 under their value. So this is the first two steps of us not giving a 26-page report. And I tell them, if they got a 26-page report, throw them out of your house. They don't know what they're talking about. Question them. So these are the first two steps when we're talking about the price. The next step is what's called the predictive analysis. And the predictive analysis is such a critical part of any real estate transaction, any listing that you do, okay? What's a predictive analysis? So we're looking at it going, we should go off at about 2.15, but I'm not sure that the buyer pool is there for this house. So let's put it on for 2.15, and let's go coming soon, and let's market it to McLean and to Arlington and to DC, and let's market it to everywhere we can for 7 days, and let's watch. Is anybody coming? Right? Anybody coming? Now, if I have one gripe, it's that I'll sit in a mastermind meeting with all the masterminds of Samson Properties, and somebody will say, well, this house isn't selling. I've only had one showing. And Donnie will say, well, did you do a predictive analysis? Yeah, we had one showing. Well, the predictive analysis, you do that to find out, is anybody coming? 1 is not good. 4 is not good. You need at least 6 to 10 people coming to see your house prior to going live. And that's the key. I know what it's worth. It's worth 2.15. But it's the buyer pool at 2.15 in this market today for that house at that price level. Are they in the market for it right now? So you do a predictive analysis. Hey, nobody's coming. We got to drop the price. Where are we going to drop it to? The next buyer pool is $2 million. What? Are you crazy? $2 million. Yeah. $2 million. That's the next buyer pool. It's the next threshold that people set their computers at. So we drop it to $2 million, we get $2.2 million net. We dropped it to $2 million and got $2.2 million. That's where the bidding stopped, at $2.2 million. So you see, just because you drop a list price to a number, because of the predictive analysis says the number you're at is not going to work. It's going to sit and it's not moving. Now, we did, I don't know what it was. The number I was using was 67 and 2. 67 did that, dropped their price, launched, and got at least 104,000 above. And 2 did not. 2 would not move to that next level. The only 2 that withdrew unsold were those 2 houses. Everybody else sold. Everybody else got 100,000, 150,000. I don't care. Do it or don't do it. Doesn't matter to me. If you aren't firm enough and you aren't certain enough to make that happen, you're going to lose. And that's breaking protocol. Launching a house that doesn't have at least 6 to 8, 10 people coming to see it is breaking protocol, and you're going to lose. It's not going to sell. And then you do what's called a downward spiral. So, you know, right this second, this is, I hope, I hope everybody's clear on that. I know a lot of your realtors are busy and they don't listen to any of this stuff, but I'm just telling you, if you take your time and you come into this room and you price your house, and let's say you can't do it as elaborate as, but let's say you're saying, I think the price is $850,000. By the best I can guess, that's what I think it's worth, $850,000. Then for gosh sakes, go coming soon at $850, and then see when you're getting ready to launch, how many people have registered to come on showing time? How many people have registered on showing? It's just that simple. How many people are coming? 2. Wrong number. Go to 799. Just go to 799. Get to the next buyer pool. I'm telling you. That simple thing will save. It probably saves. We drop prices on at least 60 to 70% of the listings that I list. I try a number, ain't working, go to this number, it gets that number. So the key to success, I'm just trying to pass on as a first half, pretty damn successful first half, $85 million is what we did, over $1.5 million on listings and sales. So that's a lot. So I'm just trying to say that when you're listing a house, you must do the best you can to get that price. Forget the search engines. Use the comps. I think it's $850. That's what I'm pretty sure it's $850, but we're going to test it. We're going to go coming soon at $850. If I don't get 6 people coming to see your house, we're going to $799 because that was the buyer pool. And once they bid that up, they're going to bid it up over $850. Trust me, that's what it's worth. Okay. So if you learn nothing else from any of my stuff, predictive analysis is critical. At least 6 to 8 people coming to see it is minimum. We got the hit counter, all the rest of that. But if you just want to use the most basic, simple indicator, how many people are coming to see the house? That's what you want to do. Is anybody calling you? If nobody's calling, if you hear crickets, you're at the wrong number. If nobody's saying, can we get in and see it early? Can we see it? When are you going to do contracts? Have you, yeah. Right. Okay. So that goes with the pricing. And let me say another thing. The only other thing I would say for this first half that you got to take with you in the second half is this. It is not an option to do a home inspection prior to listing a house. Not for my sellers. I'm trying not to be too forceful. It's your house. You can do what you want. But I'm telling you that the biggest 2 nightmares we've had this year was 2 home inspections where the sellers and the buyers both threatened to leave the deal at least 3 times each. Absolute nightmare. Now, that's when we bought the house. We would buy it. We'd do a home inspection. All hell would break loose. But all of our listings have home inspections, so we don't get home inspections. So when I list a house, you must list with a home inspection. If it's broke, fix it. If it's not, I got a 100-page report. Those of you on the podcast, bringing out a 100-page report from a home inspector. That's what it looks like. And I put this in front of the seller. And I say, he has an infrared light on each light switch to make sure that there's no shortage or anything like that. He does this, he does that. All of the stuff in this report, they have a contract with a home inspection in it. I said, here's the report. Do you want to remove it? Yes. If you remove it, you're competitive and maybe you get the deal. But here's the report. I'll give it to you in a PDF file right now. It's all right there. I mean, this is so, I don't want to call Bob anal, but this is so freaking detailed. It's crazy. So not only are we going to do a home inspection, but you got to have a home inspector that can knock it out. That can knock it out of the park. This way, we have no home inspections. So as soon as you sign that contract, we'll see everybody on July the 6th. And that's it. Game over, next house. Okay? So predictive analysis is number 1. That saved us. Home inspection, Number two, that saved us. You've got to have those things. So if we look for why this and not that, that's part of it. All right, so let's take a look at the market conditions. And again, when you have that 20% of your time is spent on pricing and 25% is market, this is what I'm doing. How many homes are under, if I'm listing a house in, let's say, between 1.5 million and 1.75 million in Vienna, how many homes, what's the success rate? Okay, 10 homes were listed, 7 sold, 3 did not. That's a 70% success rate. You got a 70% chance of selling your house. If 10 homes went on the market or are currently on the market and 4 of them are under contract, that's a 40% contract rate, percentage under contract. Now, so the other one where it says control, so you're looking at a chart that says all of the price ranges, 1.25 to 1.5, 1.5 to 1.75, and so on. This is just one for Vienna. And then it shows a success rate, 91%, so 91% of the homes were under contract between 1.25 and 1.5. 41% are under contract at the time, and it's controlled by the buyers. So look on the right-hand side. Those are all buyers' markets. Every market in Vienna is a buyer's market. Look at the new homes between 2 million and 2.5. 18% of the homes that are actively available are under contract. Now, if you're a builder or you're a rep or you're selling a house, you've really got to know that, right? You've got to know that this market is really weak, really, really weak. All right. So I do this for Haymarket and for Aldi and some of the agents that work, the teams that I price for. I do it for them, but this is something you've got to know. I mean, this is a weekly thing. So if somebody goes, well, how's the market? I'm like, which market? What market do you want to know about? 1.5 to 1 to 2 million in Vienna or in Haymarket or in Aldi, or which one do you want to talk about? Because when you go in and you list a house, you must know the market. So again, I only really do 4 things, right? I do pricing, I do market, I manage the portfolio, which is go out and listing appointments and price and do predictive analysis, or I sleep or play golf. That's it. And again, if you're trying to do 8 or 10 things, this is why, to be honest with you, I'm suspicious sometimes when people get too technical, because you can get really enthralled with all the technical stuff out there in this world, all the AI and all of that stuff, and you forget to sell houses. I mean, we get paid, right? Unless the AI can do like the there's, don't get me wrong, we use AI. I mean, we use AI to do all our remarks. It's great. Grammar's perfect. They come up with great descriptions. It's awesome. We do that to help us marketing. We got AI in marketing. But when it comes to pricing, nah. We're going to handle that. When it comes to analyzing a market, no. We're going to handle that. We are realtors. We sell houses for a living. We need to know that. We don't have, I'm not going to take somebody's opinion for this, right? So I do that every week. Now, here's why this is all important. Let's say you're going to come to us and you got a house that's a 4,000 square foot house. It was built in 2000. And you say, Casey, what's it worth? What's my house worth? Well, in January 2024, it's worth 1.794. Then it went up to 1.836. But in January 2025, it fell to 1.716. That's a drop of 7%. Now, homes last year in the fall fell 6 to 8%. Now, if you don't know the fall is happening, while it's happening, you're following it down, right? So you could have started, and here's the problem most people have. So I list a house in July of last year, and let's say, somebody lists it and they go on to Realtor.com, and Realtor.com says worth $1.85 million, and that's what you put it on for. The market's going down, and you don't know it. I mean, it happens fast. So unless you know that the market is receding, on this, you would price it at 1.799. Get out now in front of the market, have people come in, and if they're going to bid it up, bid it up. But at least you know you're going to sell. And this is what I tell a lot of the sellers. If you don't like 1799, you're going to hate 17. You're going to hate it. Because this is facts. This is a fact. Now, is the market going to go down the same amount? Is it going to go down 6 to 8%? Okay? Well, I don't think it is, because preceding January of 2024 was 2023. And 2023 had zero, it had no inventory. The inventory went down by 50%. So it's kind of crazy that the housing prices were going up, right? So the housing price went up because there was no inventory, probably overheated a little bit, and that's what made it go all the way to 836. So, and then it overreacted too far down. It came back to 1.8 million right now. Is it going to go back down to 1.7? No, it's not, to be honest with you. But could it hit 1.75? Sure. Oh, absolutely. But I can tell you what, if it moves, I'm going to know about it. We're going to know about it every week, every week. So again, of the 25 videos being produced on teams and retaining agents and, you know, all that stuff, it's got nothing to do with selling a house. It's got nothing to do with market conditions, pricing, or managing a portfolio. Let me see if I got anything else. I think that's it. So, Justin, you can go ahead and kill that. I'll just end by saying, was it a roller coaster in 2025? Yes. We got out of the gates strong. Inventory was going up. Everything was booming. The disruption happened. It happened. Some people say it happened for the best. Some people say it didn't. Doesn't matter. There's a ceasefire now. Whether it holds, it doesn't matter. The interest rates are now coming back down. Whatever disruption there was is starting to either see some benefits, or at least the smoke is it's starting to settle. Do I expect a drop of 6 to 8%? No. Is it a soft market? Yes. Everybody's at the beach and they're not coming back for a little while. But are homes still selling? Sure. The people that put their houses on the market right now are the need tos. I need to sell right now. Let's sell. I want to sell. Let's wait till everybody comes back from the beach. Let's hit August. You know what I mean? Let's wait until they come back. So, you know, but I will tell you, every week we look at these numbers, and every realtor that listens or every seller that is interviewing real estate agents needs to know market conditions, where it's headed and where it's going. And if you listen to Coffee with Casey, you're going to hear that every week. Again, my name is Casey Samson. You've been listening to Coffee with Casey, where we come to you every week. You can find us on YouTube or at CaseySamson.com. Just click on the button and you'll see the most latest up-to-date Coffee with Casey. We'll see you next week. Bye now.